D, welcome to the Standing 8-Count Fighting channel. Today I just want to give a brief synopsis or discussion, or what I like to call a pre-judgment, on the Canelo versus Chavez Jr. fight. To be honest, it wasn't a fight that I was really anticipating, but now that it's on its way, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, I believe it's on May 6th in the T-Mobile Arena. The most critics and most fans, their thought on the fight is that, Chavez, even though he's a pretty good fighter, plenty apart, he lacks discipline, and of course doesn't really have the fighter's attitude. Let's say people would compare him to his dad and say, he's not his dad's son when it comes to that level of fighting. And of course, another big thing is his lack of activity. I mean, if you combine his discipline and lack of activity, that usually leads to the downfall of most fighters. But one thing he does have on the side is playing apart and the side advantage. So to be honest, I mean, I'm rooting for Chavez Jr. and the reason I am is mainly just because of the whole Canelo camp. I remember when he was fighting Cotto, and just to lead up to the fight, they kept complaining about Cotto's diva demands and how he was doing all these different things that they didn't like. But right after he beat Cotto, it's like he adopted those same traits. He acts as if he runs the show. And again, yeah, he is the cash cow boxer now that Mayweather's retired. But it's just certain things that I heard, especially the one thing that really turned me off about Canelo and his whole camp with Golden Boy, is how when they set up the fight with the Mandingo Warrior, aka, or better known as, I can't think of his name right now, but how in the contract they stipulated that he could not have Ann Wolf train him. Kirkland, that's his name, Kirkland. They said that Ann Wolf wasn't allowed to train him, and in my mind, I'm like, why would in a contract they would restrict who trains their opponent? I mean, granted, we all understand that while being trained under Ann Wolf, Kirkland is undefeated, but I mean, it's his trainer. Like, if that's his key trainer, why in a contract to fight him would just stipulate you can't have that particular trainer? And again, leading up to that fight, there were interviews here and there with Ann Wolf, and Ann Wolf had no idea as to why Kirkland never called her and why she was never set up to be his trainer. And I mean, even I questioned why would that be the case. And later on, we find out that there was a stipulation in the contract. And again, I don't know if the contract stipulated he couldn't inform her as to why, but it was always weird to me as to why he would never call her. But again, when I heard about that, that really turned me off about the whole Golden Boy Canelo camp. Even with this particular fight, they put everything in the contract to make it a disadvantage for Chavez. I mean, initially when it was reported, the fight was supposed to be at 165. And out of nowhere, it's re-stipulated to where it's going to be down to 164.5. And I mean, granted, it's only half a pound. But for someone as big as Chavez to even get to 165, that would have been a tall task. But add that little wrinkle of an extra 0.5 pounds, it's all, to me, a way to sabotage Chavez in his preparation for the fight. So they want him as weak as possible, and also having the biggest disadvantage as possible. And I mean, granted, I also believe, according to certain YouTubers who do boxing channels, I believe it was stipulated also that for every pound he's over the contracted limit, he has to pay $1 million. And it's just, I mean, just building up to this fight and just past Canelo fights where everything's at a weight that best suits him, what they call Canelo-weight. This $1 million over the weight limit stipulation, to me, it's just another way just to, of course, make it harder for Chavez and maybe essentially sabotage the fight. Because in my mind, okay, I think if Chavez does in fact come in overweight, let's say it's 1, 2, 3 pounds, yeah, they have the stipulation where he has to pay $1 million for each pound over, but they may use it as a way to not even have the fight at all. And I mean, in my mind, if I was Chavez, I would purposely come in overweight and just pay the fine and penalties just to come in with that advantage, just to see, just to call the bluff to see if they'll even continue with the fight. So, I mean, all in all, like I said, I'm looking forward to the fight, although it wasn't the most anticipated fight in my mind. Of course, the biggest fight at middleweight, and not just made up Canelo-weight at 164.5, would be the Canelo versus Triple G fight. And, I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully that fight happens. I mean, even now, with De La Hoya doing interviews saying that if Triple G does decide to fight Billy Joe Saunders in Kazakhstan in, I believe, either June or July, that they may jeopardize a future fight with Canelo. And I mean that when it comes to Triple G, I just wouldn't take De La Hoya's word for it, because even in the past when Triple G was the mandatory and Canelo, you know, asked if he can get a little, I guess a fight in between so he can, I guess, I don't even know what the purpose of it was when he fought Khan, and then after he fought Khan and Triple G fought Dominic Wade, they were supposed to meet up, and then of course Canelo vacated the title. You know, and again, all these little verbal promises, anything that's not contracted, you really can't take De La Hoya's word for it, and Golden Boy in general. So if I was Triple G, I would just, you know, when it comes to becoming an undisputed middleweight champion, I would just go for it. If they can make a deal with Billy Joe Saunders and get that deal done, again, I'm all for that. I mean, you really can't take Golden Boy's word for it and say, okay, well, let me skip a chance to be undisputed, hoping that if Canelo does beat Chavez, then they'll make a fight maybe sometime in September. I mean, first of all, there's no guarantee that he'll beat Chavez. And second of all, even if he does beat Chavez, based on past experiences, there's no guarantee that he'll even make the fight with you. So if I was Triple G, I'd go to make history, become an undisputed middleweight champion. And if the fight materializes with Canelo, you know, that's great. If not, I mean, you have to move forward with your career. I mean, again, Khan is the biggest example. He started his career out waiting for a Pacquiao or Mayweather fight, and he didn't get either one, and it took, I would say, years of his career. And then of course he chased the big fight with Canelo, even though he was you know, had a big size advantage, and gets knocked out. Yeah, he had some success, but at the end of the day, he got knocked out in serious fashion. So I mean, that's my prejudgment on the Canelo versus Chavez fight. I honestly am rooting for Chavez just because of the disadvantages that Canelo and his camp has, you know, put as variables and hurdles in Chavez's way. But really and truly, it should just be a good fight. So, you know, that's my prejudgment. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. I want to like, this is my first video, and hopefully as the videos continue, I'll get a lot better. Thank you guys so much. This is Standing 8 Count. You have a great day.